Hi, and welcome to my Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. This evening I have for you a richly textured botanical card using the new Stampin' Up! Botanical Textures Sweet Collection. and uh, and I used quite a bit of it. It's a beautiful selection. It is from the online exclusives that were released earlier this month. And so, hello, Miss Cheryl and Miss Diane. So glad you all are here. So let me introduce myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. All right, so let's have a closer look at this sweet collection. So it starts with the textured notes. Oh, Miss Bonnie B is here. Oh, well, thank you, Miss Bonnie B. She's already given my video a thumbs up and a share. And Miss Adelaide is here and Miss Patricia. Well, now it's a party, right? Okay, so what I have here is this Botanical Texture Suite collection, and it includes everything I have here, and I will show you all of it, and I think you will want all of it. And so let's start with the bundle, and isn't this pretty? I really love the botanical stuff anyway. And we've got some nice notes. You're seriously the best. Thank you. And a little note of appreciation. So a thank you set. But these images are so pretty. And then look at the dies. They've got different borders. Very, very cool. So some rectangles with some fancy dancy borders. And so let me quickly tell you, the dies come on a sheet of cardstock with tape. And it's okay to get them there, but once you have them, it's not easy getting them back on. So I prefer using these magnet cards that I get. Oh, let's find that from Stampin' Storage. It's a separate company, but they're super strong magnets. And so see, they're not falling off. So that's good. You don't lose them. And and it just keeps it so well organized. And then I slip them into one of these storage pockets, and there's a label there so you can label them. I also slip my insert in there so I do know I can flip it over and look. It is nice when you take the time to put the label on and slip that right in there. And then I flip through, I can see what I have. And so it's a separate company from Stampin' Up, but they have everything to keep your craft supplies organized as well as your whole craft room. So you can check that out there. So let's start with the DSP as I set aside the Textured Notes bundle. So this first one is the Woven Textures. And you get 3 sheets of each. So there's more, but I just wanted you to see all the patterns. Aren't these, oh my goodness. I was so crazy about this suite when I saw it. It was just released earlier this month. Isn't this pretty? So I'm showing you the both sides, so I don't have to flip over. Okay, so there's that. And then, so rich, so pretty. I always appreciate having black and white paper because black it's just so elegant. It's the perfect neutral. And so this is part of that suite collection. And this is the Botanical Textures 12 by 12 designer series paper. And so there are 12 patterns you get to each of the double-sided. Isn't this beautiful? So there are patterns to use, look at this, for more than with this suite, with the bundle. Fantastic. Okay, let me set that aside and show you the rest that's in this. And here we go. And so you've got the mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. So, and I'm thinking mini because it means it's not the size of the actual folder. It is, the I can't think of the better word, stripes, the cardboard that's all crimped, the crimped. There we go. Okay, we come back for the chat and let's see, Miss Bonnie B. Oh yeah, the dies are beautiful. Yes. Actually, the whole bundle's pretty though. I mean, but then maybe you'll like what I do with it. I really do love botanical stuff. Okay, so we've got this very, very pretty. And we have the neutral matte dots. Oh, Miss Kathy's here. Yeah, the paper. I mean, everything about this is so cool. All right, stay over there. And then there's one more, the ribbon, the white 1/4 inch, and it has texture to it. So this is pretty cool. So that's the Sweet Collection, both the Designer Series papers, the bundle with the bundle discount, the embossing folder, the embellishments that'll work. Those neutral colors are going to work for so much. And in the ribbon, fantastic, a fantastic suite. Okay, so let's go ahead and how about we do some stamping? Oh yeah, Miss Patricia, the shading. I mean, just the whole. There isn't anything about this I'm not crazy about. This is a beautiful sweet collection, and and the black and white, like I said, will work with other things. And then I look at the woven textures. We've got Father's Day coming, so you can just see so much that you'll be able to do with all of that. Okay, I think I might be a little wide out. Every time I put the DSP, I'm not sure where I'm at. So there we go. Okay, so all right. Um, so please, if you're watching, please give my video a thumbs up, a like, thumbs up, like, however that works, and a share. And of course, comment. Come over here and say hello to all of us because, I've just got the sweetest group of stampers ever. And so I'm happy to answer any questions you have that are unrelated to what I'm demonstrating at the end. Okay, because I'm too easily distracted, so we'll stick with what I'm working on. Okay, let me leave this here. So, you know what? We'll die cut first. I was designing and I started off with stamping and then die cutting, but with the design I ended up with, which you're gonna like because it's so easy. So what I need is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We got lots of, oh, thanks, Miss Cheryl. All right, so I got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Fold that down. If you don't have one of these yet, I'm serious, you want it. It just does a fantastic job. I'm trying to get the handle out of the shot so we can see what I'm doing right here. Okay, so you know what? Let's go ahead and start with using the mini corrugated embossing folder. So I need plate number 1, and this comes with the machine. And then I have some pecan pie cardstock because that's one of the colors in the papers. And then my mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. And I'll place this on here, and I do want it straight, so I will take my time to do that. I want it to go across, so just a little strip with this. I did a whole sheet, and it really was pretty, but when I was done, all I need was this little bit. All right, so how to remember to put this in here? You always want the fold, the crease, the hinge to go through first. And easy way to remember that is the Stampin' Up! Logo facing you. And with the 3D, I'm going to put it right on the platform. You would never cut right on the platform, but it's okay because we aren't cutting, because we need to get to the right thickness for this thick embossing folder. And so then we use a plate number 4, a specialty plate. Now that comes with a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but it is available for a separate purchase. So we'll place that on there, because if I use 2 of the standard cutting plates, it's just too thick. It won't go through. And if you use just 1, it's not thick enough. With a specialty plate, it's just right. Like the 3 little bears, or the 3 bears, 3 little bears. Huh. All right. Isn't that texture is awesome. Again, I'm thinking, the guy cards. So now I'm going to use one of the texture notes dies. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And so I could use plate number 1 with a cutting plate, but instead I'm going to use the magnetic platform. And let me show you that. This is something that I picked up separately on Amazon because it just makes my life easier. These little magnets, see all those circles, help hold the die in place without any adhesive, and it just makes me a better die cutter. So regardless if I use plate number 1 or plate number 2, I still need a cutting plate, a plate number 3. And then I have my basic white cardstock. There we go. Come back to the chat, and I know what happens every time I go over there. I lose my, there we go. So people can know where to find me on stampingsmiles.com. Okay. And so let's grab the die, and it will be this one. And so that, see that rough? That's the cutting edge. Place that down, and see this is going to hold it in place. Perfect. And then another plate number 3. I'll go ahead and crank that through. You know, these edges on here that it puts on there, the border, it feels like it's another layer because it's framing them. Look at that. Can you see? I don't want to get too close. There, you can see that. Isn't that pretty? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so I'm going to use the same one again. So our sandwich is set here. And this pattern from the Botanical Textures. Oh, let's do the cutting edge down. And while we're, oh, you know what? I needed to stamp first. Okay, I should have stamped first, but you know how to die cut, so that's okay. I've got some basic white cardstock for the long greeting with this die. But I forgot to stamp. I just grabbed this up because I was focusing on the focal point, thinking about that. But you all understand, we just showed you how to die cut. Okay, so then we have these two that we will use together. And what I like about these, right back on here. Boom. And then nothing is getting lost, because some dies are really small and you drop them. You don't even know you've dropped them sometimes. So when you have that, that makes it a lot easier. So what I should have done before was take my basic white cardstock. In basic white cardstock, whenever you're stamping, you want to use it. All white cardstock is not created equal. This has a smooth, tight finish to give you crisp, clean images. So I'm going to use a tuxedo black for my greeting, and I have it right here. You're seriously the best. Ink this all up, and straight up and down. Whoops, I didn't even do a good job. Okay, I'll tell you what just happened. I was catching an edge all day, which didn't matter because I'm die cutting it anyway. But once I do that, then there. So be careful of that. You know, I didn't press hard enough just a second ago because I knew what I would do. And so then we take this lovely die with that same sandwich and center it around there. And, well, with the magic of TV, you get, ta-da, this. And we have another border around it. This one's stitched long, short, long, short. Okay. So very, very nice. All right. So we have our elements. Now we're ready to stamp. And so if you're just joining us, well, welcome. And please go ahead and give my video a thumbs up and a share. I sure appreciate that. And step on in and say hello. All right. So let's start with, okay. I love the suite, but as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, it is going to work so well with this Elements of Text. Now, this was released, this is an online exclusive, but this was back in January. And I thought, this just all goes together. It's so perfect. So we'll be using that. And I have the round one here. All right, so whenever my stamp is bigger than my pad, I put the stamp rubber side up and take the pad to it instead of the stamp to the pad. I hope that makes sense. All right. And go over here and go off that edge a little bit. And all right, already loving it. Like I said, it was made for this. I'm going to close this. All right. And then I found it easiest for my design to start with, I was doing this last, but it was easier to start with my Botanical. This is that largest one right here. Okay. And so the Old Olive, push, flip, and lock that into place. Oh, we've got Miss Kathy here from Tucson. She loves everything Stampin' Up. Yes, ma'am. I do too. And the flowers, I don't think anybody does it better. All right. So, and look at that shading. It's done for us, which I think is, well, it's, I don't just think, it is fabulous when that shading is done for us. So it, lighter and darker, that just adds so doggone much. All right, so I am done with that. And now, basic gray. Pick that up, slide that in. And this one. So I was doing this underneath, but I found it easier to do it after, so I can try to line those stems up pretty decently. Okay, and so that green still looks like it's on top, but I really like those two mixed in together. And, oh, I wasn't done with the basic gray. Let's bring that back. And I wanted to have a piece of scrap paper here. Give me a second. I'm going to do what's called stamping off. Here we go. I want to use the basic gray again, and that's with these two from the Elements of Text. But it was a little bit too dark for me at full strength. So I'm going to still have the same color, but just stamp what they call stamping off. It's, and that gives me the same color, but just a little lighter version. And doesn't that add a lot? Oh, I'm always crazy about things like this for a background, and it's just so perfect with this. So I'm going to go off the edge. So let's come over here and fill in a little bit over there. And, oh, I forgot to stamp off. Okay, well, now you see the difference. Dark as light. See, I would have preferred it a little bit lighter, but that's life. Okay, so we've got that. And then I have the pecan pie to add a little bit more here. And for that, isn't this pretty? I really like this. It'll come across about right here. There we go. And so I believe that is all of our stamping. Because I thought about cutting that out, and I thought, oh no, I don't have patience. I'm going to design something where we don't need to cut out anything by hand. The dies work beautifully for us. All right, so I've got some basic gray cardstock. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I chose, it was so hard to decide. All these woven textures are so awesome, but I chose this, and that black, there's some black in there, like, oh, so pretty. And so I will use my Stampin' Seal. And isn't that pretty? I mean, seriously, they're all so nice. And then you finally have to just make a decision. Okay, going for it. And I didn't try black. I pulled the basic gray and thought, yep, that's it. The black could have been sharp too. It may have pulled some more color from here. And then, so my Stampin' Seal, where it's a little opaque, go ahead and put my finger there. And shock of all shocks, if you follow me, no Stampin' Dimensionals tonight. Oh, I know, but I didn't need them. All right, so here we go. And offset that. And we've got all of that shading going in and out. There. Very, very nice. And now for the corrugated, you need something really strong. And a lot of times I like to use the Stampin' Seal Plus because it can handle the texture. Yeah, I tore it. I'm like, okay, we're going to be using mini glue dots. Sometimes that happens. And this is such a small piece, and like, oh, I tore it right in half. So I'm going to recommend the mini glue dots for this. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and it's the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter, to get those off of there. I try really hard not to touch them because that takes away from that extreme stickiness. And talking about sizes, tomorrow I'll have a link to my blog post after the video's done uploading in HD. So you can go back to YouTube or right to my website, www.stampingsmiles.com. Tomorrow afternoon, it should be uploaded for you. All right, so I want this. I want to be able to see what I had just done. There we go. Let's come over a little bit. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, pretend that, you know what? I've got another one. I just tore that. That is a characteristic of corrugated. Okay. So we will get to do this again. So anyway, so I'll have a link. So I'll have all the measurements for you, as well as a downloadable PDF that will include the card sketch. They're like, ooh, because there are times where you can look at the card sketch for something of the similar size, and then you've got this great starting point with the bulk of the work done for you once you have the card sketch. Okay. Trying this. I went over here just a little bit. All right, we won't press down till I know I'm happy. And so while I'm fooling with this, I'm going to use mini glue dots again because it will be on here. And you just need a stronger adhesive than the Stampin' Seal. I almost said snail. It was snail for a long time. Whenever you're dealing with texture. You certainly don't want anything falling apart on you. And that was my nail, so that isn't sticky, won't take away from the stickiness like my fingerprints. Okay. We'll center this on here. And I have a little surprise touch for you that you may have seen as I kept pulling it over. And I didn't want it centered. It's purposely not centered, more over this way than that, all on purpose. And then, here we go, as I was getting stuff out of my way to die cut, my neutral matte dots. Boy, this was a decision because all of them looked so good with it. They really did. Like, oh my goodness. So, a statement with the black was nice. Everything was good. I end up going with what I'm assuming is, I didn't look up the colors, but I'm assuming the gray granite. And so I went understated, letting my green and my greeting be my focal point. But you can't go wrong with these, no matter what color you would have picked. Just fabulous. So you notice I always press down because the adhesive then stays on the embellishment and not this acetate sheet. All right, Miss Patricia. Oh, you're okay, Miss Patricia. I thought this isn't quite maybe her thing, but oh, that just tickles me that you like it. And so I could stop there. But another one of the online exclusives that I just had to have were these, I believe they're on the tags to go dies. The keys and the locks, and we've got some nice, labels. But I thought, wow, this will be great for, some of the elegant for the guys, whatever. And so I did. And here's what I decided to add to it. And so remember that now, and then we'll add this. And so you can decide if you think, ooh, that's a nice little touch. And I'm going to use mini glue dots again. So what I'm doing is peeling them back till I can see them on the row here, on this tape that's coming off. And it's okay if we can see it because it will get tucked up and under. I'm going to tuck it under my greeting right in here. Oops, that's in my way. I'd like it to go underneath just a little bit. There we go. And then the key. There always is a right and wrong side. So, of course, I'd love to hear in the comments if you like the addition of the lock and key or the way it was before the lock and key. obviously, I like it because, or I wouldn't have done it. All right. Okay, that worked really easily when I wasn't live. There we go. But isn't that how it goes? I'm not getting that underneath. Okay. I said earlier, I did it twice because I want to show you the first color I used, and then I changed my mind. I had taken my picture and thought, I don't think that's right. Okay, there we go. So I had used the basic gray, but I thought this then didn't stand out as much, but looked more like silver, which of course I could use the um, silver foil sheets, but everything was pretty muted, and so I stayed with that. So Miss Cheryl says no lock and key. Well, that's okay. I that's okay. I appreciate your feedback. And so there we go. A richly textured botanical card with the textured notes bundle. And I think the perfect companion, the elements of text. And there we have it. And so, yeah, and when you look at that, you can see you don't have to do a whole bunch of cutting out by hand. These were designed to layer like they do, and there's more in here. That's a really cool one too, and there's a designer paper to go with that. And there we go. And that was fun. So, while I was fooling around, what I meant to tell you is, it's getting time for me to order the 25, 26 catalogs. Someone called with an order, and her expiration date, I think, was 2030. I'm thinking, 30? Oh my gracious. Wow. So anyway, so yeah, 25, 26. This is just crazy. And so for anyone who's ordered $50 or more for me, October 1st through March 30th, so there's still time, 2025, 50 before shipping and tax, I'm going to send them a catalog absolutely for free. And so if you haven't done that yet, you still have time to get on over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, or the QR code right up there that says shop Stampin' Up! Products. That'll take you right to my store, and so you can get the catalog for free. All right, and so there we go. Ah, yes, Miss Glenda. Yes, you really do want it. It is. Yes, new catalogs. Yep. It is beautiful. And it's not something you use all by itself, right? But wow, does it ever dress up other stamped images for sure, and even die cuts. Okay. Let me scoot on over. I'm so glad you all joined me. Oh, Miss Roxanne. All right. Yeah, you'll want to watch for sure. It's always there to go back and watch. And if you wanted to make the card with me, you could always go back and play it again as well. So let's do this. Ah, yay. It was a lot of fun playing with this, and there's just so many possibilities with that beautiful designer series paper, and the perfect seriously companion to it, the elements of text. But I'm recommending the texture notes and the dies. Wow, everything is just, the whole suite is amazing. They did a good job. Okay, Miss Patricia likes it with and without. So, yeah, I still, there will be some projects that'll be perfect for the keys and the lock and the tags. So I'm so glad you all joined me. And so let's do this. I'm here. I'll put this up, the chat. So if there's any questions, oh, thank you, Miss Cheryl. You're so sweet. Okay. So if you have any other questions, we'll just hang here for a little bit. Come over here though and get ready for that. Okay, so, and I can do that. Okay. Life is good. So to remind you that tomorrow, whatever, depends on when you're watching. If you're watching Tuesday evening, it'll be tomorrow. If you're watching this Wednesday afternoon, the link to my blog post with all the measurements, as well as a downloadable PDF with the card sketch, probably be there for you. And you can always go right on over to my website, www.stampingsmiles.com, to look for that. So I don't see any other questions, but I'm so glad you joined me. And so it's that time of evening where I say thank you for watching. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good evening and God bless.